Hey y'all, and welcome to another Friday tea break. I'm Becky Streepy from Glue and Glitter. I did want to announce before we get started that this is going to be the last Friday tea break for a little while. Um, just need a little tea break with the podcast coming out and with school starting up. It's just kind of a lot, so I'm just going to take some time off to reassess. I might change the time of day. We'll just see how it goes. But I'm very excited that I get to share the last tea break for a while with my friend and fellow vegan lady boss member, Alicia Simpson. Alicia is an author, a dietitian, and a lactation consultant, and I'm super excited to talk to her about the million hats that she wears. Let's bring her up on the screen and say hello to her. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you.
Me too.
So tell me what's going on in your life. I know you're at your office right now. What's that like?
Yes. Back in office for a limited time. Life has been good. Crazy as it's been for everybody else. Thankfully, as a nutritionist and a lactation consultant, people are really seeing the value of nutrition and healthy living in times of everyone was really scared and didn't know what to do. We were just trying to stay inside and eat all the things you can eat, like all the day cheesecake available that you could find. Now we're coming off of binging everything available and coming back to their nutrition. And on like the breastfeeding side of things, thankfully families are once again reaching out for help. A lot of people were just frazzled with everything going on that they didn't even like think to try to reach out for help.
Yeah,
They have
even
little babies at home with to get support,
even during normal times, like I definitely needed help when I first had my kid, and I didn't even think to reach out. And there wasn't a pandemic going on.
Yeah.
It's just normal.
Yeah. You're just tired and like, I don't know, but it's not working. Yes.
Yeah. Totally.
So, how's it been for you?
It's been fine. You know, we're just kind of chugging along. It's the house I feel like feels smaller than it did when we started this. But
Yes.
we're finding ways to like make space for each other. Like, Dave will go work outside, or like he closes his office door when he has like calls and stuff, or like the kid will like go, we call it getting the wiggles out. He goes out back and just runs around screaming. So like we're finding those pockets to get quiet minutes, but that's really the hardest part is just having a quiet minute. I miss having more of those.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Alicia is gone. She will come back. This happened during the pre-chat. My Wi-Fi and I think hers too are having some problems. So what I'm going to do is start talking about what I'm cooking right now, and hopefully when she gets back, she will tell us about what she's cooking right now. So, gosh, I only had one item planned to talk about, so I'll talk about that first, and then maybe if people watching want to chime in, that would sure be great, because I could use somebody here with me. Yeah. So what I've been cooking lately is a pasta casserole. I know it's summer and probably what people are craving is salads and like cold foods and not turning on the oven, but I have just been really wanting comfort food lately, and this pasta casserole has been great because it's comfort food. It's also something I can put together whenever I have a minute during the day and then throw in the oven half an hour before we're ready to eat. And it's super easy. So I just boil the pasta on the stove, and while that's cooking, I throw a bunch of spinach, or in this case, it was like mixed baby greens, like baby kale and arugula, and I think there was like baby chard in there. It's one of those like mixtures that comes in the big box. the kind that wilt really easily. And then I chopped up some tomatoes, and when the pasta was done cooking, poured it over the greens in the colander. And if you mix those together with a spoon, the heat from the pasta and the hot water will actually cook the greens and wilt them for you. And then transfer that to the casserole dish with the chopped tomatoes, like fresh grape tomatoes, or cherry tomatoes would work too. But not, I didn't put the tomatoes in the colander, so everything is fresh. Hey, Alicia's back. Oops. Here she comes. Hey, you're back. I was describing in detail.
I could hear you. I was like, oh, this sounds good.
It is good. So I tossed that together with olive oil and my magical fairy dust, which kind of makes it like a pesto, because the fairy dust is like a seasoned cashew meal or almond meal or whatever nut you have. And then topped with vegan cheese and baked. Oh, and I put beans in the pot with the pasta, chickpeas, but you can use work beans or whatever kidney beans work. So it's nice just because I know it sounds like a lot when I'm talking through it, but it's actually very easy. It takes like 15 minutes to put it all together. And then when we're thinking we'd like to eat soon, we just toss it in the oven. And it's very cozy. Even Dave liked it, and he's a little choosy about tomato stuff. So Alicia, what have you been cooking lately?
So I have actually been doing a lot of kale salads lately. It's very nutritious. It sounds like very cliche, but we have our garden. So we have a garden out back, and so right now we have a ton of kale. We have a rescued tortoise, and he loves kale and Swiss chard. So, and then my daughter loves Caesar salad, but not with romaine, only with Caesar. So I make the Caesar salad dressing from quick and easy vegan food, and then like thinly slice the fresh kale and just put that together. Sometimes we'll shred some cabbage in it or some carrots, and then throw some tofu on it or roasted chickpeas. Like, you have a lot of roasted chickpea recipes that are so yummy on top of salads. So that has been a go-to.
So I have two questions about that. Do you massage the kale for that kale Caesar?
I don't. So I used to do so many things when I was a baby vegan. I used to do so many things. I used to salt massage it, and then I would or I just do like a regular massage. But now, especially with fresh kale, it's so soft already. Like, it's going to be hard for me to go back to regular store-bought kale, because you take it off and it's just like soft and sweet and none of that super chewiness. Yeah. Perfect. And then it's really thin. Yeah.
Delicious. And then my other question is, the salad dressing you mentioned from Quick and Easy Vegan Comfort Cooking, is that one of your cookbooks?
Yes, it is. That's my first cookbook. Oh, no.
Oh, I love that. And I have linked to a page on Amazon that has all of Alicia's cookbooks on it. So if you want to check them out, she is like a queen of comfort food. So if you love comfort food, you're going to love her.
Thank you. Thank you. And I've been doing like cook for my own books. It's been a while since I did that. And so I've been returning back to it. I'm like, oh, these are really good. I made my chili the other day. I had a bunch of extra kidney beans. I was like, this is great chili. So
I have been lobbying for chili all summer and getting a hard veto. Dave said you cannot eat chili in the summer. And I was like, but I want it. And he says no. Yes. I love chili.
I made chili. Yeah, I was the only one who ate it. So I made it, and then I ate off of it for 4 days. So
that's a good point. Make it for me.
Yeah, I never do. I always am like, well, if no one else is going to eat it, but it's fine. I can have like my own chili to myself, and yeah, I can freeze it, and so yeah.
What an empowering thought! I'm going to start making things when I just want them. They can figure it out.
It's only taken us 8 to 9 years to be like, you know what? If I want something, I could just make it. It's fine.
That's right. My feelings and cravings matter.
Yes. It literally took me to the pandemic to realize that I could just make something that I want to eat. And if no one else in the house wants to eat it, that's okay. And I can just eat that for lunch and like have a family dinner of something else. But we could like do our own thing for lunch, and that's okay. So
We've been doing a lot of nachos at lunchtime. I love that they're easy, and I also just love the look on my kid's face when I say we're having nachos. Just it's very great. And it's a nice fridge dump too. We can just we always have lots of salsa, and like it's easy to just like throw it together. Like
oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Yes, we used to do a lot of nachos. Anything with sour cream, and I'm always making refried beans. Always making refried beans, so they get put in a lot of things. And that's another one that's really not a summer food because it's like for hours, but it just smells so good, so tasty.
I love a refried bean. So delicious.
Yeah. Oh, can you guys see me? Hear me?
I can. Oh, this internet. My internet has been a disaster all
good.
long.
I wasn't.
So why don't we move on and talk about our happy places? I feel like
I'm doing every.
Uh-oh.
So my happy place. I'd say right now my happy place, and it's probably been the entire pandemic because I've been doing this the entire pandemic, has been our little foster kittens. So I have two right now. They are knocked out to me. They are. For this I gave them, and it's hard to let them go. I will admit that the last 4 bunches of bottle babies we had them for 9 weeks, and we dropped them off and like wept in the parking lot, and it was the hardest thing. Now they all have good homes, and it's just lovely. It's lovely to help. Like the shelters are just overrun right now, and there was such a big wave at the beginning of the pandemic, everyone adopting, and now everyone's adopted, and and we still have a lot of animals coming in. So it's nice to be of service, and we get to be of service with really cute, tiny, fuzzy animals that are awesome. So that's my current happy place. What about yours?
I love that. They're so sweet and fluffy. I got to see them before they fell asleep, and I feel honored because they were precious.
They're sleeping on each other, like this, like on each other's heads.
Cute. So my happy place, I feel like has also kind of been sustaining me for quite some time now, but we've been doing a lot of virtual hangouts with like friends and family. We do a game box or a Jackbox games on Saturday nights with some friends who live out in LA. And then we've been watching Community on Netflix Party with some friends. One is in Athens and one is in San Francisco. And I also been doing happy hour with my mom and sister on Thursday. I'm like busier now than I've ever been socially, like since before kids. But it's so nice. Yes. We have so many good friends and like family members that live out of town, and it's been so nice to like reconnect with them. Like we laugh so much, and I missed all these people. I'm sad that it took this to reconnect with all of them, but I'm glad it's happening.
Yes, and I hope that part stays. Right?
Me too.
I hope that part. Yeah.
When
we all get back to our lives.
Yeah, I hope at least some of it. It doesn't have to be obviously every week like it is now, but it would be nice to keep doing this once in a while and see everybody. Miss these guys. So I also wanted to move on to the plug section because you have so much cool stuff that you do, and I want you to talk about all of it.
Cool. All right. Where to start? So I was telling Becky before that, and my friends get on me all the time because I'm the worst. Even though my first major was in marketing and I did this as a career for many years, I'm like, I never talk about my books. So we'll be in like Vegan Lady Box. Everyone has an ask, and I'm just like, Um, so, um, but my books are there. So I have 4 books. 3 of them are pure cookbooks, and then my last one came out, I think, last year, or maybe last year. The years are running together. But first, the first book is vegan comfort food, and it was really like my journey into becoming vegan. So it is literally all the food that I made like in the first 3 years of being vegan and having no idea what I was doing, and trying to figure out cheese and trying to figure out burgers, and like I'm from California, so like figuring out my tacos and enchiladas, and so it really was all like my comfort food. I call my mom and like, Mom, how do we make potato salad? And then I try to veganize it. So that's all in there. And then there's vegan celebrations, which out of all of them is one of my favorites. Um, and it just has, there's every chapter is just a different holiday, from like New Year's, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, St. Patrick's Day, birthdays. Like it's all in there. Mardi Gras. So there's like jambalaya and all sorts of yummy stuff for Mardi Gras. I got to play around with really fun ingredients like lobster mushrooms and oyster mushrooms. And then low-cal vegan comfort food, which I got to stretch my, like, by then I was a nutritionist, so I got to stretch my wings a little bit, and making comfort foods a little bit healthier. There's still like Philly cheesesteaks in there, and all sorts of comfort foods, like regional comfort foods like Cincinnati chili. Have you ever had Cincinnati chili?
Never in my life, not even before going vegan. And I feel like it's got spaghetti in it, right?
Yes, it's spaghetti. I've never had non-vegan, so I've only ever had the vegan version. But yeah, it's spaghetti with like a brown chili on top. So it's an interesting combination. But I was like, I'm adding in all the comfort foods.
That's like a dream.
Yes, there's like carbs and just spices and happiness, and yeah. And then book, Boost Your Breast Milk, is it's actually it says nothing about being vegan in the title, but I'm vegan, so it is too. But it's geared towards new parents, breastfeeding parents, who are looking for natural ways to help increase their milk production, make sure they're really well nourished. And it just so happens to be that like nature already had this taken care of, that all the foods that help with milk production are plant-based. So it just went hand in hand. And that one I love. Like there's of course the whole like nutrition section, and there's a whole section about the pitfalls of breastfeeding, and some of the challenges, the medical challenges, the non-medical challenges. So that's like the first half of the book. And then the second half is all recipes. And like there's like 9 different kinds of milks. And I had so much fun. Like for a while, my house was just full of fresh milks. And I had the little glass jar. So I just open it up and it looks like a 1920s fridge with like fresh milk in jars. So then like, yeah, it was so lovely. But I like those too because they're designed for a new parent. So they're really super nutritious, like filled with like hemp seeds and chia and all and like barley and oats, but also like as simple as it gets, so that like there's a guacamole that is like a 2-second guacamole. Like you open the avocado, you add this quick thing, smash it, there you go. So it's designed that anyone can do them, even if you can't cook and you have a baby on your hip and you're frazzled. So
Yep, that describes new motherhood perfectly. Every time.
yes. And sometimes, being 8 years postpartum, can describe that too. A little frazzled these days.
2-second clock. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, yeah. And then in the rest of my life, so it's funny, like thinking about my books, Like the first two I did, there was my daughter did not exist in the world, and then the third book, Low Cal Vegan Comfort Food. She was born in the middle of me, so I was pregnant while I was writing the book. So the book was late because I couldn't eat for like the first 4 months. I was so sick, and so like those two kind of coincided, and then of course Boost Your Breast Milk. And then my business, Peapod Nutrition and Lactation Support. So it's a 501c3 nonprofit, and we provide breastfeeding and nutrition care for everyone in the community. So for those who are in underserved populations or low income and can't afford services, we provide free services. And then for those who can, we have, we accept insurance, cash pay. So the goal is to make nutrition for all ages, an easily accessible thing. And through the pandemic, we've been doing telehealth consults, and we'll continue to do that, especially for rural areas, ongoing. But Peapod and my daughter, they're almost the same age, so they're my twins. So those are my two. Yes,
That's amazing.
they've been hanging out together since the beginning.
Very cool.
So yeah, that does sound like a lot. But
it is a lot. Are you teaching? You also teach?
Yes, I do. So I'm you'll get a theme in my life of the things I'm passionate about. So and one of those things I really believe in, like teaching the next generation to teach the next generation of nutritionists and the next generation of lactation consultants. And so I work with a program called Union Institute and University, and I teach lactation courses there and help with their students who want to become lactation consultants and sit for the board exam. So I help with that process. So all day long, I'm just thinking mom's baby's food, the whole day. And then I also go to school there as well. So I'm working on my PhD right now in public policy. So I go to school there as well.
And do you sleep as well?
So, actually, the busier I get, the better at like prioritizing my time and getting more and more organized, because it's like impossible to not be like if you're not organized, it all falls apart. So I have my planner and my phone is like meticulously down to the second. So yeah, I've had more balance being this level of crazy than I did when I was just like single, no kids. And I was like, oh, I'm always running out of time. Now every moment is taken. So yes.
That's so fascinating. See, I told you she wears a lot of hats.
But thankfully the school hat, once it's done, like there's nothing else to do after a PhD. So I'm going to stop. I'll stop. That'll be it. Yeah.
That's good. I'm sure you'll fill that time in quickly with a hobby or something. Volunteering.
We are trying to learn to sew. My daughter's learning to sew and I'm trying to as well. So we'll see.
That's so fun. So where can people find you online if they want to follow you on social medias?
So for most of my things are under Peapod Nutrition, to try to simplify things. So at Peapod Nutrition on Instagram, and it's also Peapod Parents on Twitter. And then, of course, just regular Peapod Nutrition on Facebook. I also have just a Facebook page for my author page. I'm notoriously bad at updating that page, but I'm back to it. And then if you just like cute kittens, our kittens have their own Instagram because, of course. So at Spinster Kitten.
Spinster Kitten?
Yes. Our cat, so we have 6 cats, so they are the stars of Spinster Kitten, and then all our fosters, of course.
Awesome. I will add all of that to the details of this so that people can find you.
Perfect. Okay.
Before we go, I have a plug too, really quickly. The third episode of Talkin Tofu came out today. We reviewed Morningstar Farms pizza bites, and if you are not subscribed, please do. Also, I am doing a giveaway with Easy Tofu Press. We're giving away a free press, and all you have to do to enter is rate and review the podcast. And leave a comment on my Instagram on the giveaway post, just letting me know your Apple ID so that I'll be able to match it up when we pick the winner so I can tell you that you won a press. And you can find me at Glue and Glitter everywhere, all the social medias. Well, thank you so much, Alicia, for taking the time today. I know you. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you have a very busy schedule, so I'm going to let you get back to it. I'm sure you want to go home to your family, bring those kittens.
Yes. Tonight is a glass of wine night. I'm excited.
Yes.
Happy birthday. Nothing to do.
Thank you to everybody.
Well, thank you so much
today. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one, y'all. Bye.